Welcome to the 16th episode of the Tesla Club India and EXP with EVs podcast. In this episode, we will discuss the latest EV news, and your hosts for this episode are me, Priyans, EXP with EVs, Nikhil from Tesla Club India, and Garvit, again from Tesla Club India. Uh, with this, let's start with the news. The first news that we will be discussing is the four-wheeler registration data. We are currently recording this episode on 4th March 2023, and we have the registration data for four-wheelers and two-wheelers for the month of February. The top three two-wheeler sales are from Ola, which is at 17,647. Ola in the previous month was at 18,220, and the month before that they were at 17,293. Ather is currently at 9982. Uh, in the previous month, they were at 9,129, and the month before that at 7,651. And the second player is TVS. TVS has gone from 9,317 to 10,395 and cracking 12,583 sales this month. Nikhil?
Yeah, Priyans. So Ola seems to be steady for last couple of months. Ether has seen an increase and TVS, as you said, also has seen an increase. It's interesting to see that. After these, we have Bajaj, who seems to be going down from last 2 or 3 months. There this month is 2,520 and last month was 2,614. So they have updated their Chetak now and with some range and instrument cluster updates. So let's see if this makes any difference. And then we have torque also at 24 unit, which is down from 62 for January. I think they will also begin updated production right now. So I hope they ramp up fast. They haven't been doing so much good from last since they have started. There's not much great numbers for torque right now. And UltraViolet has started deliveries this month, so it would be interesting to see how much interest people have in such a bike like Ultra. Arvind?
Yeah, so quite a surprising month from everyone, uh, but not from Bajaj Auto, as Nikhil mentioned. Now let's talk about the four-wheeler vehicle registration data. We have Tata Motors at the top doing 3,772 units, and at second place we have MG Motor at 345, and at third place we have BYD closing in at 228. So quite a fight for the second and third position will be seen in the March. BMW, which did around 100 unit or so in January, is at 54 this month. Even in luxury car segment, we have Mercedes Benz doing 30 units cumulatively, locally built and imports. Mahindra 7 units. I don't know what's going on with their deliveries.
Correct. So last month, if I'm correct, that last month Tata had sold around 2,412 units, and this month they have increased it to 3,777. I think we are going to see an upward trajectory for Tata at least for the next couple of months, given that they have just started the Tiago EV deliveries, and that is going to see a massive impact on the sales. Whereas for MG last month, like in the month of January, they sold around 424 vehicles, whereas in February they have sold around 345. So MG is on a downward trajectory. Uh, from what I know, in Mumbai, the wait time for MG's exclusive model, that is the top end model, is barely a week or 10 days, right? So it is expected that, from what this I think we can conclude is that MG has the capacity, MG has the availability, but still the numbers are going down. So that is slightly concerning. And the most interesting thing that, as you mentioned, Garvit, is that BYD is going up. BYD went up almost double, like more than double, right? In January, they had 131 sales, whereas right now they have 228 sales. Uh, So almost double, sorry. So that is really great, and BYD is catching up with MG really quickly, and I'm expecting with Atto 3 and with E6 they will be surpassing MG in the next month. That is my bet. Nikhil.
Yeah. So Tata has seen a big jump from last month. Last month was 2,421, and this they are up about to 3,777. It's likely due to Tiago EV sales, but Akhil on Twitter mentioned that Tigor EV fleets are doing quite well in recent months, so it might have been a factor in that Tata sales too. And yeah, so MG is going down as BYD is going up. So BYD launched Atto 3, so they are delivering their reservations. So it might be a factor that number is going up. It would be interesting how it holds up in coming months. But Prince, why do you think that MG is not doing so good? Is it not catchy enough for people at that price point? People don't want that much. What do you think?
Frankly, I think there is some kind of saturation with the design, as in there is nothing new. And that MG's model has been on the markets for almost a year, whereas you have some interesting products like BYD has Atto 3, right? It has some funky design. People may like it, people will not like it, but there is something to talk about. Whereas you were seeing MG quite a bit on the road. As I'm, we can compare this data from earlier also, wherein when MG introduced their facelift model, the number of sales for facelift also increased, right? And so similarly, if MG can add on some features, maybe, and not mess with the price point, maybe we can see customers getting drawn back to MG. Right now, MG has competitors in the similar price range. Earlier, they didn't. So that is what I see is competition is taking up its own market share and wallet share. Garvit?
Yeah, so quite surprising that MG is not playing its game here. But we have some news from MG. That is their uh, mini EV. Their mini EV, they are going to be calling it the Comet EV. They're gonna be launching it soon, around May 2023. So just 2 months away from now. So Nikhil, any thoughts?
I mean, seeing Tiago and price of the Comet TV to be around 10 and 12 lakhs, I am not sure how many people would like to go with that small two-door EV compared to that. I mean, if someone is especially is having shortage of space for parking really, then maybe. But Jens, would you like to go for that Comet TV versus your Tiago?
It is definitely going to be what do you say, a conversation starter. People will definitely want to stop and ask you whether you want to ask you about the car, right? Because two-door cars are not very famous, uh, not very, what do you say, common in India. But we I mean that is going to be definitely one of the things. Outside of that, I think maybe some kind of cargo delivery, right? uh, do they have enough boot space, or the back seat itself can be used as the boot space, right? For Comet.
Yeah, it is something like that.
Yeah,
So there are only three doors basically, the front two
mm,
doors and at the back one.
correct. So maybe someone who's driving solo in the city and has a lot of material to carry, material that can fit in that car, can try and use that car. But outside of that, um, yeah, I mean, it is difficult to see unless the specs are really amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nikhil.
So, it would be interesting. So Tata will be making the battery pack for this Comet AV, right? It would be interesting so to see if it comes with liquid cooling or air cooling. Because right now there's not much info on that.
One last point I have before we can move on to the related news item is that we see that the top three players are more or less constant. That is, Tata is definitely leading, and you have MG and BYD fighting for the second and third spots. Now, of the remaining manufacturers, who do you think is going to be at the fourth place? Or do we see someone like Citroen coming in with their EC3 who will take charge at the fourth place? Because the other sales are barely crossing 50. So,
I mean, other EVs are basically luxury EVs. You have Ioniq 5 from Hyundai and EV6 from Kia, then you have from Mercedes and BMW. These are luxury category, right? And they are many are imports, so they keep going up and down based on how much they are importing versus their bookings. So it would be if let's say Hyundai were to bring a mass EV that they are claiming to be working, it has been spied. I think Creta EV has been spied
Creta EV,
recently.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if they launch it, but I don't think it's anytime soon, then maybe we can take a guess that who is going to go where. But right now, from the top three to next four, it would be hard. Uh, I would love to see the reaction to Citroen EC3, uh, and now they have revealed their prices as well. So it comes in four variants right now, starting from 11.5 lakh, going up to 12.43 lakh. All have the same battery pack, 29.2 kilowatt hour LFP, natural cooled. Yes, so seeing the prices of Tiago and this, what's your view?
So, uh, definitely the pricing is on a higher side. I have not had the chance to get a test drive of this car yet, but doing that in summers would definitely be an experiment that I would like to do. Outside of that, there are expectations, at least in the media, when the EC3 was launched, there are expectations that EC3 will also be used by fleets. And given that the price range is, I mean, you have a solid product in Tigor, you have a solid product that is being already used in fleet. So I do not know what kind of like fleet manufacturers, how much are they willing to experiment with something which is a new product like EC3. And given that there are some basic lacking features like air cooled batteries, right? So yeah, Nikhil.
Yeah, so its batteries compared to Nexon EV Prime, not to Tiago. When you see Nexon EV prime price and this price for the same battery pack, price seems okay. I mean, with liquid cooling, it would have been wonderful. And for fleets, like they will to use continuously. Fleets will have continue use. So it would be interesting how this air cooling thing hands up with that.
Before we jump on to Garbit, just one last thing that I had observed is that charging capacity, they mentioned that from 10 to 80% they go in 1 hour. So expectation is that they will be consuming at like they will be charging at 20 kilowatt hour per hour.
Yeah, the speed. I feel the speed will be similar to the Nexon EV Prime in
Correct.
ideal conditions. Although Nexon EV Prime can charge in harsher environments, so that to say in heat, because of the presence of liquid cooling. Moreover, if you see the difference between warranties of this kind of competitors, EC3 and Tiago, or even Tigor, you have a warranty of 8 years and 1,60,000 kilometers on battery pack on motor on Tiago and Tigor. But here you are getting only 7 years and 1,40,000 kilometers on the battery. So definitely this shows that even the manufacturer themselves is not that much confident about their product to be as good as new after 8 years.
And it is even less in B2B, wherein they say 3 years and 125K. So 125,000 kilometers. So
Yeah,
that is for
so
battery, motor, and the vehicle. So that is slightly disappointing. Yes, I agree.
yeah. But I'm still
And
waiting to get to know about any IP rating if they have.
even in customer, the motor warranty is 5 year, not even 7 year that they are offering on battery. Why they did that motor as separate? It's I don't know.
Also, I think the consumption of this vehicle, just given on the size and everything, will be slightly higher than your Tiago or the Tigor EV. It is similar to Nexon. The consumption would be similar to Nexon, in my opinion. But this is again just a hunch, and we need to collect more data to be able to say confidently. Okay. Uh, if Yeah, let's move on to the next news. Gajit.
So we have some new launches. Firstly, let's talk about the scooter segment. We have the River Indie scooter. So it's from a startup based out of Bengaluru, and they are giving a 4 kilowatt hour battery pack with a 120 kilometers of true range, a 6.7 kilowatt of peak power, I guess, yeah, peak power, and 26 Newton meter torque, a mid drive motor, 90 kilometer per hour of top speed. And the good thing is, they're offering 5-year, 50,000 kilometer battery and vehicle warranty. The vehicle is priced at 1.25 lakh rupees, ex showroom Bengaluru, likely after FAME 2. So, seems like a good option. And the design is also looks like it's more rugged kind of thing. So, yeah,
Yeah,
Nikhil.
Yeah, Garvit. So I like this price point and the battery pack they are offering, and even the range seems good enough for this. 4 kilowatt hour battery at 1.25 lakh. Obviously after Fame 2. So and competition is around. Ather is at a slightly higher price point. Ola is around this price point. So it would be interesting when they start deliveries and how much they can ramp up and how it affects other, especially in the areas where they start deliveries. And its design for sure is not regular. So you know, be polarizing for some. Some might
correct.
not like it.
Again,
From, yeah. So,
design
Priyansh,
here
what?
is one of the Yeah, design here is one of the it's like MG Comet EV, right? Wherein people are going to stop, people are going to ask what this is, how kitna deti hai, and it's it's again polarizing, which is good in a way wherein at least people are talking about it. It's there in the news, and once you see it on the road, you will be curious as to what kind of vehicle is this. So that's, I think, really well played. I also want to understand whether the front bulge that we have is that a storage space because yeah,
Yeah, seems like a opening there, a lock.
the Ather recently released something called as a Meow, right? Wherein
Yeah,
they
front.
have created this frunk wherein it's like you attach it on the front, uh, what do you call it, the panel of the scooter, and there you can store your phone and you can put in your mobile and everything. So yeah, uh, sorry, you were talking of.
I mean, I kind of like this design. It's sure different and it seems, kind of bit of solid thing compared to some others. So I like it somewhat, but it would be interesting to see how people respond to it. It surely is different and it will get people talking about it and will surely some turn some eyes on the road. And one more interesting thing is its charge port. Okay, so Prince, if you can see it, uh,
Mm,
it's slightly like Ether, but not exactly the same as Ether. Uh,
okay, are we talking about a new connector here then?
yeah, so it's a new connector here. I will send you right now the Ether connector pic also. So, and yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
this means a lot of
I
work.
don't know
Yeah,
why they went with this. So if you can see in the connector, the first row of Ether and this seems same. The second and third row pins they are different. So Ether connector is not going to fit in this. I don't know why they went with a separate new one when they have Ola offering theirs. I mean, Ola one is standard, and Ether has also opened theirs. So I'm not sure why someone would like to go with their separate one. It's a kind of mess right now in two-wheeler segment with so many different standards.
I think this has to standardize sooner than later, and I hope the appropriate authorities who are listening to this uh, create some kind of uh, create some kind of legislation around it, wherein uh, so that charge points can be operated by all two wheelers across all the networks. We need that cross compatibility and cross functionality. Yes, okay.
Yeah. I mean, four-wheeler, we have default, companies have defaulted to CCS2, although it has not been standardized by government as mandated standard. I would like to see something like, I would like government to mandate a standard for two-wheeler after talking with everyone. So, right now we have Ether their charge grid and Ola doing their hypercharger. So mainly we have these two standards growing up. Ether one is used by Hero, Vida, and Ola one is used by Torque and UltraViolette. So it will be two major standard, and both would benefit if they have similar connectors. So better sooner than later when there are lakhs of vehicles, so it would be hard to shift. Yeah,
Ganesh?
TVS also uses the Ola connector in the updated iQ.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they can charge yet on the Ola hypercharger if Ola has opened. I don't think so. But for
But that is
future,
a question of
yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah, it's question of time rather than if it's
Yeah.
possible or not. Yeah.
So yeah, moving on to our next news. In the segment of two-wheeler launches, we have Meta, which has launched its electric motorcycle in two variants, 5000 and 5000 plus. It is having a 5 kilowatt hour liquid cooled battery pack, and it's a manual transmission vehicle with a 125 kilometer of claimed range, a 10 kilowatt motor, 3-year battery and vehicle warranty. And the prices for 5000 and 5000 plus are 1.44 lakh and 1.54 lakh after FAME 2. Also, since the battery is about 5 kilowatt hour, and just previously we discussed about the River Indy scooter with a 4 kilowatt hour battery pack, claiming about the same true range, 120 kilometers. So need to see how this manual transmission performs. Nikhil, any thoughts?
Yeah. So price point for this battery seems good. It's a good price for this, and it comes with liquid cooled battery. So that's a first, I think, in Indian two-wheeler segment. They have liquid cooled battery and motor all connected. And another first is having four-speed manual transmission. I'm not exactly sure why they went with manual transmission compared to having single gear. So, and but the at the from 5 kilowatt hour they are claiming 125 kilometer range. But we're seeing that it has manual transmission. It doesn't seems like having it much benefit. But it could be that liquid cooling is taking up some energy, so that is being compensated by having manual transmission. So yeah, it would be interesting to see when they start production and it goes into customer hand. They will also have a variant called 6000 plus with 6 kilowatt hour battery coming near Diwali.
And they also have a
Seems very,
4000.
yeah, but they are not launching it right now. It's not much details on that.
Correct. And I am on Matter website, and there I see they have one new product which they would want to launch later, which is basically swappable batteries. Is that correct?
Yeah, there seems some plans also. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah, so they have future endeavors, and one of the last slides in that is swap.me. It basically shows that the batteries in their bikes are swappable. There are two sets of batteries, and and there's a similar GoGro type charger, charging battery swapping station. You can just swap your batteries and I mean, get a full range. So this seems very promising, especially in the motorcycle market, because we're seeing some players in the scooter market, but motorcycle, I think this is the first one.
I mean, we have Torque doing motorcycle, but they are just starting right now, and we have Revolt. I mean, they were recently purchased by someone, some company, so they will be restarting, I think, now. So, yeah, we need more motorcycles also. There are so many scooters. I want motorcycles coming out there. So, on the swap batteries, it might be useful for fleets and those who are doing deliveries, or maybe those living in apartment. But personally, I'm not a fan of swap batteries. I mean, avoid as much as possible, especially for personal segment. For fleet segment, yeah, sure, there is some use cases for there.
Correct. And speaking of, launches and deliveries, I just wanted to understand, do we have any idea as to where Simple One deliveries are, or are we still in the dark about that?
I haven't seen any simple deliveries. I mean, they were supposed to, I think, start in March of 2023. Yeah, so this month, that's
This month we should be seeing some of the deliveries. All right,
yes, yeah,
let's hope
yeah.
that happens. Anyway, let's move on to the next news. And Nikhil, why don't you take this one?
Okay, so this we spotted first, I think. Yeah. So it was a picture posted by Ola CEO Bhavish Agrawal, and the picture has a very interesting cell. It is 4680. So if you don't know, 4680 shape cell is designed originally by Tesla. They are developing it and they are making it in California and Texas, Gigafactory Texas. They have plans to make it in Gigafactory Berlin also. Yeah. So uh, LG and Panasonic are also trying to make these 4680 cells for Tesla. So I so it seems like 4680 doesn't have a patent as it is just a shape. So anyone can use the shape, but the inside tech might be different. I would like to know more and how on what Ola is doing with 4680. Are they in with partnership with some other company or they are doing it themselves? And what chemistry will it have? Will it have NMC? Most likely. But if it's LFP, even better. So it surely is an interesting sport by us. So what do you think, James?
Definitely, 4680 batteries are game changer because we have seen them being used in cars. We know that Ola is working on a car, and it would be really great if Ola starts using similar kind of battery design and battery tech, which are being followed by EV leaders in the world, that is like Tesla uh, batteries, right? So it is interesting to see what I mean, it is interesting to see that they are at least making some progress towards the car, and it was not just a launch that we see quite often in the industry. Garvit?
Yeah, quite an interesting catch by us. But I'm still not able to digest if they themselves have made this cell a working cell, or they have just got the technology license from LG Chem. Because I suppose their 2170, which they are using in their scooters, are from LG Chem and they are NMC. Uh, so it might be possible that their 4680 cells might be from LG Chem. Also, they have been in partnership with Store Dot, I believe, for extreme fast charge cells. But they are more of like prismatic or pouches. Uh,
What is Toro doing? Are they doing LFP or some semi-solid or I
yeah, some
not
semi-solid stuff.
okay.
So I am just unable to guess with which chemistry they are going to produce this cell, if they might.
I'm hoping that it is LFP, and that way LFP is much better for the cars that are being used in India. So let's hope that it is LFP. Okay. Uh, I think we can move on. to a related news segment, which is battery manufacturing. So we recently we are seeing the news that Tata Sons has handpicked Thomas Flack, who is currently the president and chief purchasing officer at Tata Motors, to be the designate of a new company which will be focused on manufacturing lithium ion battery cells. So, as per an internal note that Tesla Club India had received in August 2022, uh, this decision was taken back then. However, it was made public only in late Feb 2023. So we are really curious to understand where this factory will be. And Garbit, I think you have some research already done. So why don't you tell us?
Uh, s- so at TCIN, we were quite happy when Tata Group first announced a battery factory by Tata Chemicals at Dholera. But they somehow dropped that plan that Tata Chemical should go ahead with the cell plant. But now they are trying to set up a new subsidiary, especially for battery cells. And their chief, Mr. Balaji, has already mentioned that they are gonna make this announcement soon about what capacity they are doing, where they are doing. He also mentioned that these factories may supply to other OEMs as well. Now, recently we have got some news from the UK that the TML is seeking for a 500 million pound aid from the UK government for setting up the battery factory. The UK government will be kind of competing with the Spain government in terms of who gives better deal to the Tata Group. Now coming on to the subsidiary itself, the capex they are gonna do is around 4,000 crore rupee, and they have codenamed it Apollo. Now it is interesting to see an ex board employee, Mr. Thomas Flack, has been selected to lead this subsidiary. Tata Chemical has already some land in Dholera, and they have mentioned it for 10 gigawatt hours of cell production. But now we have some statements regarding Sanan too. So it is quite confusing to see what they are planning to do exactly. But it is quite clear that they are on the path of getting it done. So, Nikhil, any thoughts?
Yes, so everyone has been wanting Tata to do cell factory, and it's been long. I think there have been many reports, and there have been denials that no, they are not going to do it. But now there seems some activity, especially in Europe, that they are planning between UK and Spain. It will be interesting. I would like to see them doing it in India also, maybe both consecutively. They need supply to JLR for Europe mainly. And in India, we have Tata. So let's see when it come to fruition, because there have been way too many guesses by now in last couple of years. So I will believe it when they finally start doing it, and I really hope they do it.
Priyansh, any thoughts?
Yeah, Priyans?
No, supplying it to third party is something that I'm really looking forward to, because that way the consumers get a lot of choice, in the sense that even if you don't like the Tata product, you can buy other products, but at least the battery tech is reliable, and we know Tata to be a very reliable company, and they've been in this space for a very long time. So yeah, them getting into manufacturing is a great step. I just hope that it is India keeps getting the supply and it's not just a global uh,
So,
objective.
yeah, but it will be interesting to see with which company they will partner for the technology. Because currently they have partnered with Goshen for the LFP cells, and for JLR they are sourcing cells from LG Chem. They are pouch NMCs. Uh, so, and we have some reports last year about Tata Group going with Envision AESC. So Need to see what will happen. Nikhil, any update regarding that?
Don't they also we saw recently on Goshen website that they are doing a R&D center in India with Tata. I think that gives us hint that they might be going for manufacturing with Goshen also, right? So it would be interesting to see where this goes forward. Yeah, so moving on to next, we have some international news from Tesla. Has announced their new Gigafactory. It will be in Mexico, where they will be making their next generation vehicle. So Tesla recently held a investor day on March 1st, where they shared that they will be constructing a new Gigafactory, and the total land area for Tesla seems to be 4,200 acres. So it's quite a big land they have got. They will be doing it for next generation vehicle, which they haven't revealed right now. So they have kept us hanging that okay, there will be something. We won't tell you right now. So it would be interesting what they will make. Yeah, so if it is really, it might be a van or it might be some compact car. If it is compact, I really hope someday it comes to India too because we have been waiting for way too long for Tesla.
Do you think it is the Tesla Model 2 that is rumored to be under $25,000, or is it some other vehicle altogether?
I mean, given that it will primarily be for the South American market and the nearby, it might not be a compact. It might be some van and maybe somewhat of a bigger vehicle than a compact, according to their local markets. But it's hard to so know with Tesla that what they are doing until they reveal it. They are top class secret in these things right now. Yeah, and the Chinese leader of Tesla China, Tom Zhu, is has shifted to US, and he will be helping up ramp up Giga Texas as well as Giga Mexico, right? And it was quoted that he wants to build Giga Mexico faster than they got built Giga Shanghai, which was in 9 months from groundbreaking to starting vehicle deliveries. So that was very fast. So it would be interesting to see how this Giga Mexico goes. Maybe we'll see some new vehicle launch from Tesla within a year. They plan to deliver it from this factory within a year or so.
Correct. I am expecting more to see some launches in August or September rather than waiting till the year end. So let's hope
Yeah.
so. Garvit, if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, so a new gigafactory in Mexico. Uh, it was known to us that a factory will be eventually required in Mexico for serving the South American market, and also getting the benefit of the supplies from Mexico. Because there is already a flourishing industry in Mexico for automobiles. If I'm correct, Ford and GM also has plants in Mexico. Nikhil, is that
Yeah.
true?
So yeah, Ford Mach-E is made in Mexico. Yeah. So and one interesting thing is Tesla is right now making a lithium refinery in Texas, which is quite close to Mexico, and it is let's say on route there to their Giga Texas right now, where they are doing their 4680 batteries cells. So it all connects as a part of supply chain for Tesla, right?
And yeah, they've got the dedicated lane on the border, US Mexico
Yeah,
border.
so they have a dedicated supply chain crossing lane for Tesla only. And what interesting is they are doing lithium refinery also, right? Not just they are like doing cells, they are have gone one step ahead and they are doing lithium refinery factory also. Yeah, so on the same news, Tesla released their master plan 3 to move to a fully renewable energy future for all of us. So they showed path to how they are going to do things. They showed that where how they are going to reduce the cost. Elon said that there is desire and demand for Tesla vehicle. It's just about how much people can pay. Right? Everyone wants a Tesla, and most wants a Tesla. It's just about if it is available and at what price point it is available. So with the it was a long presentation. I mean, people got bored. Uh, So and they are they want less mining and more recycling, and they want simpler manufacturing. So they right now Tesla is doing giga castings, so for the back and front body part, they just do one big casting which removes a lot of part, and it makes manufacturing easier. And for one interesting thing is their motors, they won't be requiring any rare earth materials. So even with their permanent magnet motors, this is one interesting bit that they are doing away with one of the rare earth material required for the motors also. So reducing dependencies on countries like China, because that's where it is most from. And for grids, they want to battery storage everywhere, for residential as well as grid. Right now they are doing mega packs also. It would be interesting to see how this plans plays out in the next coming years. So, Priyans, any thoughts on this? Did you watch it?
So, Elon Musk is someone who has grand visions, and he is someone who's been showing the visions and is executing them uh, at a pace that is still not comprehensible by the greater uh, by everyone else, right? So definitely, he's been talking about sustainable energy for a very long time. He's been talking about uh, earth, earth making Earth a sustainable home, a sustainable planet, so that we are not dependent, and we are not dependent on fossil fuels. We are not dependent. We are not polluting the Earth, and we can extend our lifetime that we have on this planet before we completely destroy. So uh, it is interesting to see some of the steps that he is going to take, some of the new product launches that he said that he will be unveiling in relatively short time if we're talking about Elon time. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to. The right now I see that people are using Tesla's Powerwall, right? Powerwall in situations which is very common in flooded areas or where areas where you do not have electricity due to snowstorms. People are using their power walls and they're keeping their homes electrically heated and comfortable. This is obviously in the US, but imagine this concept 5 years ago. 5 years ago, probably this did not exist. So this is something that is very, I mean, this is pathbreaking stuff. So good luck to Elon, and let's see what else.
I mean, I would love to see lithium-based energy storage for homes in India. I mean, most everyone is using lead acid. Most have inverter and then a lead acid battery attached to it. I would love to have everyone replace it with lithium ion because they have much longer life, much safer to handle than lead acids. So I hope someday Tesla comes to India and with their power walls, LFP power walls if possible.
That will definitely replace the generator market in India.
Yeah. So, we have one more last US news. So, Tesla has opened their select superchargers to some other EVs in United States. If you don't know, Tesla uses their proprietary connector in US, Tesla connector, and the other EVs use CCS1, not CCS2, CCS1. So there's a compatibility issue. But Tesla has managed to open with a adapter to some other EVs. And Priyans, if you can see this, uh, just check out this video. I mean, the process is very smooth. The app is working very smooth, and the connection all within less than a minute, the charger is working for non-Teslas. How uh, how
Just plug and play.
I mean, they have to use app since they are not Teslas, but still it's very smooth.
Correct.
Yeah. How do you see this and compare to your experience in India with the apps and
So
connection? Yeah.
based on based on my communication with multiple CPOs, this is something that we can hope to see. Something this experience will be very similar to what you have when a non-Tesla charges on a Tesla charger, but that is something that we can see probably in this year itself at some of these chargers. So yeah, waiting to try that out. Garvit,
Well, we'll hope to see someday a Tiago EV charging at a Tesla supercharger.
definitely, definitely. All right. On that very happy note, I think this is the end for the podcast. All the links that we have discussed, all the news items will be linked in the show notes, along with the relevant tweets and the articles that we have discussed. You can follow Nikhil on Twitter at NC You can follow me at EXP with EVs. And you can follow Gavit at Tesla Club India on Twitter. So please share this podcast if you like. Please write to us and let us know any feedback or any comments that you have, and we'll be happy to incorporate those. Thank you so much. See you on the next episode.